Imagine your daughter is sobbing on the phone, cornered by a mob of strangers who are berating her for not loving the children her cheating father had with another woman. Now imagine those strangers were sent by your ex-in-laws, the same people trying to take your kids away. This is the story of how I turned their fake piety into a public scandal so brutal, they were shamed out of their own church. If you've ever been gaslit, disrespected, or backed into a corner by people who thought they were untouchable, hit that like button, subscribe, and get ready. Because this revenge didn't just serve justice. Sang hymns while doing it. You don't expect to be planning a funeral and a custody battle in the same month. But when my ex-husband died suddenly last year, that's exactly where I found myself. The man who once promised me forever had left behind more than just pain. He left behind 2 sons, born from an affair he kept hidden until my daughters exposed it. And to make matters worse, their mother died in the same accident. So now I, a 46-year-old mom with 2 teenage daughters, was dealing with the fallout of a double life I never asked to be part of. My ex's parents, my former in-laws, should have stepped up to care for their orphan grandsons. But instead, they turned their claws on us. They tried to take my daughters away through the courts. And when that didn't work, they tried to move into my house. Let me be clear. They are not welcome in my home. And after what happened at the farmer's market, they're not even welcome near my daughters. It was supposed to be a sweet day. Literally. My youngest had just turned 15, and we were at the weekend market, the kind with fresh honey, homemade chocolates, and warm bread that melts in your mouth. Since her actual party was later in the month, I gave her a budget and let her run wild with her sister. I remember watching her skip away, her braid bouncing, a rare smile lighting up her face. For once, the storm cloud seemed far away. Until my phone rang. It was her. Crying. Panicked. Mom. They're yelling at me. These ladies, they said I'm evil. They said I'm going to hell. I didn't even hang up, I just ran. My oldest ran with me. And when we found her, 6 older women had my 15-year-old daughter cornered, red in the face, wagging fingers, screaming about how she was unchristian, heartless, and damned. Why? Because she refuses to be a good big sister to the affair children. Because she refuses to visit the grandparents trying to steal her custody. She was sobbing. Frozen. I felt every maternal bone in my body catch fire. I got between them, told my oldest to grab her sister's things and go to the car. Then I turned and unleashed. These weren't just random women. I recognized several from my ex-in-law's church. Women who had sat in the same pews as me. Smiled at me. Gossiped about me. Now they were calling me a disgrace. A failure. One said I had a duty to obey my in-laws as a good Christian wife. Excuse me? The man cheated. Lied. Died. And you want me to what, serve his parents tea? The shouting got so bad that we were asked to leave the market. They followed me to my car. I had to shield my daughters from their vitriol like a bodyguard. It was dehumanizing. Humiliating. Infuriating. But that wasn't even the worst of it. That night, after my daughters went to bed, shaken and tear-stained, I logged onto Facebook. A church member I still trusted had messaged me. He sounded apologetic. Hesitant. He told me to check the church group's latest post. And there it was. My ex-mother-in-law had spun an entire sob story. She claimed my daughters and I were cold-hearted, cruel, and greedy. That we kicked them out and left them homeless. Even though they inherited my ex's life insurance and personal bank accounts. She painted us as villains. Said I refused to raise the boys because they were boys and not girls. Claimed their mother was our surrogate, not a mistress. And even suggested that my daughters were refusing their Christian duty to care for their baby brothers. She left out one important detail, the truth. But what she forgot is that I still had it. See, my ex died before our divorce was finalized. But the paperwork, the messages, the photos, I still had them all. I didn't go looking for revenge that night. Revenge found me. Because somewhere between my daughter's sobs and my ex-Semiel's lies, something inside me snapped. They wanted to play dirty? I would play biblical. The next morning I took the day off. Drove straight to the print shop. I printed everything. Photos of my ex making out with his mistress in our living room. Texts between him and her, laughing about how clueless I was. Messages from my ex-in-laws encouraging the affair. Emails where they harassed me during the divorce. The piece de resistance? A message where they called my daughters bastards and blamed them for their father's death, 2 days after he died. I paid extra for high-quality prints, then spent hours assembling personalized binders, neatly labeled, beautifully formatted. You'd think they were prayer books. The first page? A full-color photo of my ex and his mistress, faces clear, captioned, John and Marissa's love story, a testament to truth. Then early Sunday morning I walked into their church. Calm. Smiling. I placed those binders at the back table, right where they kept the hymn books. And then I walked out. The gossip mill spun fast. I was getting screenshots within hours. The congregation turned savage. My ex and his mistress were called names I can't even repeat. The pastor had to intervene to stop the thread from turning X-rated. As for my ex-in-laws, the mood shifted. Suddenly, everyone remembered how they bullied my girls, how they tried to rewrite history, how they clung to righteousness while hiding behind lies. Some people still blamed me for the divorce. But even they said, well, after a betrayal like that, who wouldn't lose their way? I received 2 handwritten apology letters. One from a woman who screamed at my daughter. Another from a deacon. Both offered support. One invited me and the girls back to the church. As for the in-laws, they vanished from the church. My ex-ML made one last pathetic Facebook post. She said no one cares for the elderly, that no one respects what her great son had built. Lady, he built nothing. I was the breadwinner. I was the parent. I raised the daughters you now try to control. They thought they could manipulate grief, weaponize religion, lie with smiles on their faces. But they forgot one thing. I have receipts. The beauty of this revenge wasn't just that it was public. It was poetic. They tried to use the church, the place they claimed to worship in, as a stage to shame me and my daughters. So I used that same stage to show everyone exactly who they were behind the curtain. And when the curtains fell, nobody clapped for them. Revenge doesn't always have to be loud. Sometimes it just needs to be true. The truth doesn't just set you free. It buries liars in silence they can't escape from. And sometimes the best hymn you can sing is justice. If this story gave you chills or reminded you that karma always comes, even if you have to hand deliver it yourself,